Hmm. Here it is Tuesday, and I have wanted to make sure that I went live. And can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? I'm not seeing if my mic is working. Is anybody else there? Hello. Hey, Ben, can you hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. Good morning. Good to see you. Hi, Dave. Uh, it's I'm doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, Mondays, or Thursdays, and I messed up and didn't do yesterday. I just thought I'd share about that. I've had a really kind of rotten time of it recently, and I wasn't handling it great. I felt like my resources were, just I wasn't handling it great. Kind of struggling with a few things. So you know how life is. And right now, of course, things are doubly hard for us with the pandemic and with politics and with, social distancing or not seeing your friends and not being able to go out and do the things. It adds up, doesn't it? And we've been at this for months now. So I'd launched my B5 events. I didn't do a very good job of it. And last night, my boyfriend was trying to help me fix my website, B5 events. It looks better. Hey, if you want to go over there and take a look at it, let me know later. Not right now, but later, if what you think, it just, ticket sales are down. It's a lot of things were just getting me down. I don't know about you, but because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm doing things on my own, I don't work for somebody else. When something isn't going well, I really take it to heart. It's like I blame myself. I get very hard on myself, and that doesn't open up to creativity. It doesn't open up for better things to happen. And I know what to do. I was just struggling about it. So I couldn't sleep last night, and I was really working to just meditate and connect and just empty my mind and let go. So I felt something kind of shift, but I was still struggling. And this morning I woke up to some very bad news. And again, just like I felt so depleted, like I didn't have resources to deal with it. But I did not freak out. I felt really sad. I shed a couple tears and kept plugging away at it. The good news is it resolved, and it resolved fairly quickly and without tremendous upset. So I feel very grateful that something did shift and I did handle this better. And it felt so good. As soon as it got better, I felt like a whole different person. And I thought, wow, that shows me how hard I have been on myself and how depressed I'd been. And then just really focusing on my meditation helped this all to resolve. And it's not like necessarily I'll know what to do, but it's just like things do it on its own. So this is why I sent an email yesterday. It was the third in a series of emails. So look in your spam folders. If you haven't seen it, please open your emails. I mean, I really put a lot of work into it. I think there's some helpful things in it for you, so don't deny yourself a little bit of help. We all need some help now and then. So the point was that things are shifting, and once you do your part, then the universe does its part. Whether you believe it or not, it just happens. So simply meditating and trying to empty your mind and trying to just let go and accept and let go and accept and let go and accept. You get out of your own way, because we get in our way. We get in our own ways all the time. I'm fabulous at tripping myself up, at sabotaging myself. I'm fabulous at that. So I have to really work at it. And if I'm telling you that it can help, then it really fucking helps. So don't just, suffer and be a victim. Get out of your own way. And it's not that it's that hard, but somehow we like to suffer. we like to feel bad, and we like to have, we get into that thing, and it's a human trait. It's how we're wired. We have to really work to overcome that. We have to notice we're doing it and let go of it. So I understand when things are piled up. You don't feel well, something's not great with your health, you're depressed, you're alone, you feel unattractive, your job's not going great. All of that, can pile up and just make you want to, I don't know, throw it in, drink a lot or something. So I thought I would just share that life happens, and I really do try to share some tools with you that work, and it's not hard, and you don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to know anything. So that's why I think these things are just genius, because it's so simple that we just don't do it. So read your emails for me. Then the other thing I wanted to tell you is the B5 events that's coming up is Nana and Siddig. And we talked about that last time. Nana, visitor, and Siddig, Alexander Siddig, his name is really, he's got like 13 names. He has the most amazing name. We call him Sid. And he and Nana are coming together to join us on October 3rd. There will be a replay. So even if you can't join us live, buy a ticket anyway. It's cheap right now. The tickets go up pretty soon. I'm trying to hold it back. And the great thing about this is that they're not just talking about being an actor or Deep Space Nine or Game of Thrones or Wildfire, all the numerous shows they have been on individually, but they're going to collectively talk about how they're getting through these times, like I've been sharing with you. What do they do? And they've got some heavy stuff to talk about and some really unusual things that I didn't know. So I'm excited for them to share this with you. And then there is still a couple of VIP tickets left. Usually they sell out in 24 hours. So this is really unusual, but there's a few more left. And the VIP party is just 20 people spending time with Nana and Siddig by themselves, just us as a small little group. And we all talk together. I make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak, and it's powerful. So, take a look at that, b5events.com. And the Patreon page, I've already got patrons, and I haven't even made it live yet, or it's live, but I haven't launched it yet. It's not finished. Thank you so much. I'm going to launch it October 1st. And the great thing about that is that I didn't want you to pay for September and then have to pay for October, the way Patreon charges people. So that's why I was holding off to the first of the month, so you just get the full benefits. But if you don't have to worry about money, you want to join right up, feel free. I'm super grateful. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm really excited about it. In fact, before I went live with you right now, I wanted to I'll be shooting behind the scenes with Patreon on my Patreon page, but I have to set up another app to do that. So I thought, I didn't realize I had to do a whole other app. I thought it was just like Facebook, where you just go in and start a live. Not really. So that's fine. I just have a lot to figure out. You know how it goes. And I wanted to clarify something so that all of you know. So I wrote this book called Pleasure Thresholds, and it's on Amazon. Oh, and I set the price for $250 because I don't want you buying it there. I set it for the highest price. I want you to go to B5 Event Store or to go to questretreats.com. And the book is for sale there. And I'm autographing them and shipping them out from my house because why not? It's a pandemic. I have time. Let's do that. But somebody bought it for $250, and I would love to know who they are, and I want to thank them and then make it worth your while, because I feel really bad about that. I didn't want people to spend $250 on my book. I never thought anybody would. So you don't have to, just go to the store at b5events.com. You can buy the book for $35, and it's autographed, and it's shipped from home, and anyway, so thank you. I think I said what I need to say there. I'm a little bit of a hurry today, and I felt really bad because I should have gone live yesterday. I made that commitment, and here I am. It's Tuesday. I can't believe it's Tuesday. I haven't been feeling 100%. Oh, thanks, Jess, for sticking that up there. Thank you. All right, so I have been reading from the book, and I marked the page. So I was reading, I came to a new chapter, so I stopped here. So what I can do is I can read a little more. I won't read, this is a much longer chapter. And there's a lot of pictures in the book. The whole book it started because I have a ridiculous amount of pictures that I took on the set, and they're in, we'll go through, and then there's stories, but there's a lot, and all these pictures are mine, so you're not going to see them anywhere else. I also include some of my script pages. I include my contracts, so you could see how I was paid. Practically work for free. It's ridiculous. And at the same time, I was going from the Babylon 5 set over to the Next Generation set to the Deep Space Nine set, where I was stunt double over there at Star Trek and Paramount. And then I'd go shoot other things. I mean, I never stopped. I didn't turn down a job. I didn't care if I slept or not. It was about keeping working. That's how it is here. I know it's so funny. You guys think that we're all wealthy and so well set up. It's not true. So, okay, I'll read this. This is called Intermezzo. No business like show business. Auditions are how an actor gets a job. It's a performing interview. Usually we read sides from the show we're trying to get cast in. I suck at auditions. Always have. There's nothing about an audition that resembles the actual acting process. 99% of acting takes place with at least one other actor. You communicate back and forth, talking and listening with certain choices in place. Actors make choices about the scenes they are doing. My teacher, Charles Nelson Riley, would say, the writers put the black on the page. The actor's job is the white. The actor is a detective, therapist, and medium all in one. We research the shit out of the script, digging up everything we can about the time, place, and subject of the story. We find where our character is in the scheme of things and why they are there. Then we look at the psychological components of our character's reality. We suck all that up inside us and channel out a living, breathing person. In an audition, most of the time, all we have are sides. A side is a scene from the script, but not the whole script. It's very rare nowadays to get a whole script. Usually the sides are an online service such as showfax.com, and we pay to subscribe to it. I'll read all the sides for all the other characters from the episode or film I'm auditioning for to see if I can put together an idea of the story and tone of the piece. The tone is very important. Every show has a tone. If I'm auditioning for Fringe, I'd play a scene differently than if I were auditioning for the Big Bang Theory. They have very different tones. On camera or on stage, if you're acting a scene with another actor, you have rehearsed a scene with the director and worked out all the beats. You've learned the scene. I like to say learned instead of memorized. Memorizing lines implies that an actor has set in their mind exactly how the line should sound. And often you can't get them to change that decision, even if they want to. Learning a scene means, to me, that I know all the words in the scene from every character. Maybe I can't do their lines word perfect, but I know what they are saying and doing. I know what the scene is about and what my goal is as the character. I know the beats or moments the scene changes tactics. My detective work is done. My understanding of my character's inner life is intact. Now I channel the character with my partners in the scene. I'm flexible in my mindset. I can play and change with my acting partners as we work through the scene, finding moments and truth. This is how the art of acting begins. In an audition, you don't have any partners. The lines are not learned. Sometimes there just isn't time. I have to make imperfect choices based on the sketchy information that's available. I don't have a sense of the whole. I have to make it up. If it's a pilot for a new TV series, I don't know what the tone of the show is. I can try to get that information from my agent, who has to ask the casting people. What they may or may not say makes sense to me. What they say may or may not make sense to me. We get a description of the character we're auditioning for from our agents, who get the breakdowns. And then I do describe all of this in here, and there's footnotes, if you want to get more information. I will drive to wherever the casting office is. Sometimes it's not at their office, but at a production office for the show, sometimes on a studio lot. Since 9/11, it's very hard to get drive-on passes for a lot, so you have to find parking. That takes time, as does getting through security and walking to the right building. I allow an extra hour if I'm going to a lot. If I'm late, my stress level goes through the roof, so I give myself as much time as I can. If I get there too early, I can stress out after waiting too long, so timing is important. I also have to make sure I eat something. If I don't, the adrenaline will just make me shake, and that looks bad. If you look nervous, the casting people might not trust you on their set. So being relaxed is very important. It is a trust thing. Like, they need to know that you can handle yourself as a professional on the set. They need to know you can take directions from the director who may change the tone. They need to know you can memorize quickly, because often, especially on a TV series, new pages will arrive, which means the writers have adjusted a scene. So you need to be able to memorize like that and perform it. So, casting directors will take time to get to know you and see you in an audition process, but getting an audition is like winning the lottery. So it's really tricky to get proficient at auditioning. One of the things I did after Babylon 5, and I was having trouble getting work other than stunt stuff. And I started a business helping actors just market themselves and work on the audition process and meet casting directors. It's all such a networking job, So oh, good, John. Glad you got it. So yeah, I try to talk about the life of an actor and the life of a stunt person a bit in the books, so that you guys have the information you might be interested in, and what it's really like to be an actor that's making a living as an actor. And it's not what anybody thinks unless you have been behind the scenes. It's just really an unusual thing to do for as a choice to make a living. And the actors that I know who are successful all have other ways of making money. Isn't that interesting? You may not realize it, but they have a side business. They're either in business with somebody else, or they have their own products, or they buy and flip real estate. Their actors usually have. Let's add more information for the VIP ticket in the Bardo. It's about an hour and a half for the VIP tickets. May I switch from basic? So what, Jasmine, you can email me at pattallmannewsletter@gmail.com, and we'll figure it out. Okay, I can set you up. It is. Actors audition for a living. It is really. That's one way of looking at it. I look at my positive way of talking to myself about an audition was that I get to act. I get to act right now. I get to go into that room and I'm acting, and I get to act. So it's a lot of mindset shit, and that's, I think, what set me up really well for learning personal growth when I finally did really dive into this stuff, which was, I had a nervous breakdown. I had a breakthrough, but that was about 2012. Yeah, something like that. I lost it. It had nothing to do with anything other than, a whole thing about life. I'm going to write about that in my next book, about what that led into, because I think this is so much more interesting, the way this new way of looking at things. And it's really has nothing. Sure, Jasmine, my pleasure, sweetie. It really has nothing to do with anybody else. It's all about us and yourself and how you interact with the world. I wish I'd known this before. I was talking to Nana. This is something we're going to be talking about on October 3rd, about what acting takes out of you. And then how can you approach an artistic craft like acting and not have it drive you crazy. and anyone can use this information. So I'm very excited about interviewing Nana and Siddig. And they're both just such lovely, gracious people, really good-hearted people. And that's really special to me, that I have these kind of guests. And that's what I want to do with B5 events. It's not an online convention, so to speak. Although I want to give you this sense of community, and I want us to nerd out and have an awesome time and ask questions that we have about the shows that we love. but it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. It's more than that. And I'm excited about developing it and see where it goes. This one has been a hard one, and I think it's because when I first started this in May, nobody was doing it, and now everybody's doing it, even though we're doing something very different. You know what I mean? I think that there's a lot more people, there's a lot more conventions online, and so I'm getting a little lost in the shuffle. I have a very small base, which is you guys, and I love you, and I don't need a huge base, but I would appreciate it if you did share any of the posts that you see from us, and then get it out there so that we can keep doing this. You know, I only need upwards of like 100 to 200 people to keep us going per event. That is not a lot, right? That's not a lot of people. So we can keep going if I have that. So we're not there yet with this one, which is crazy. So please help and share the word. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, Scott, I think every actor does that. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. There's times when actors are working and there's times when we're not working, and we always need to make money because the rent always needs to get paid, right? So I worked with so many young actors, and all I would say is that you've got this part that's your job being an actor, and the other piece is to have a way to make money, and you must do it because you've got to show up in nice clothes. You got to have your resumes and headshots printed out. You got to have a car that works. If you live here in Los Angeles, you got to take your class. You got to pay for the apps that you need. So you need to have money to come in. That's part of your job as an actor, is to have that other piece where you're making money. I'm not going to tell tales out of school, but there's actors that you know and love in our genre who have never completely just relied on their acting money. They have always had another job. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just a way to keep it's smart. It's being smart. So cheers to you for having other jobs, and it gives you an outside life. You don't have to, stress about every audition because it's like, well, yeah, I still have a job. I'm still going to be okay. That's the other thing, is we want to be able to walk into an audition and not be stressed out about whether you get the job or not, because the numbers are against us in getting the jobs. And it's just, you just keep going, just keep going. So later it falls in place. You get better and better and better at it. You stay in class, work out. Just like a dancer stays in dance class, you got to work out. Right? So staying in acting class, you're doing it best. Aw, thanks, Claire. That means a lot coming from you because I know you've been around. Thank you, Val. I do appreciate it. And any of, if you guys are members of groups, whether it's social media groups or whatever that has that might be interested, just whether you're writers and actors or whether you're sci-fi or horror nerds or, anything, comics, anything, and then ask them to share. It's really amazing how then the algorithms sort of kick in and will boost my posts. So I appreciate that a whole lot. And in October, we're going to have a couple of horror events because, of course, it's October, and I was in a lot of horror movies, so that's my next thing. I need to be a little more organized. I'm also always, open to meeting new people. So if you've got suggestions, send them to us at Pat Tallman newsletter @gmail.com. Wow, you guys, this is so sweet. I really appreciate you. You come in and you hang in there with me. Yay! Okay. I've been talking for 23, almost 24 minutes already. So sorry. Wow. Really? I do have the gift of gab, don't I? Yeah, Irish girl. All right. Love you guys. Please be well and take care of each other, and be sweet, and everything will be fine. We'll all get it worked out. That's what I'm trying to do with my Patreon page, is to create a community where we support each other and we love each other, and we can, just, if you go in and out of good moods and bad moods, it's okay. We will figure it out. Oh, good, Scott. Well, cool. I'm talking to one of my castmates, and we are putting together a horror thing even as I'm speaking right now. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. I try to go through and see your comments. So I'm sorry if I've missed any right now, but I do go back, and I really appreciate you being here and listening. All right. So love you madly. Take care, and I'll be back on Thursday. Okay. Bye.